She found a second set of footprints in her room, the night she slept alone. If this story keeps you up tonight, remember to like the video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments if you've ever felt watched in your own room. By the time police took the photo, the footprints were already fading. 2 sets. Bare feet. 1 set small and familiar, leading from the bed to the door. The other set, longer, wider, pressed deeper into the carpet, standing right beside her pillow. The prints stopped there, as if whoever made them had been watching her while she slept, and then simply vanished. The room belonged to 24-year-old Emily Carter, a nursing student who lived alone in a small second-floor apartment on the outskirts of Portland, Oregon. Friends described her as careful, almost paranoid about safety. She double-checked locks, kept a flashlight by her bed, and never slept with the window open. That was one of the first things detectives wrote down. Emily Carter was not the type to forget a lock. On the night everything happened, the security camera in the hallway recorded Emily coming home from a late shift at 11:42 p.m. She looked tired, still in her scrubs, carrying a grocery bag and her backpack. No one followed her in. No one was seen leaving. Yet sometime between midnight and sunrise, someone else walked across that bedroom floor. The prints were discovered at 7:13 a.m. when Emily's sister Lily unlocked the apartment with the spare key. Emily was supposed to text when she woke up, but her phone stayed silent. Lily said the first thing she noticed was the open bedroom door. Emily never slept with it open. The bed covers were still a little warm. The curtain moved gently in the morning air from the vent. On Emily's nightstand, her glasses, her phone, and a half-empty glass of water sat exactly where she had left them. But Emily was gone. And when Lily stepped closer to the bed, she finally looked down and saw that second set of footprints, facing the pillow, as if someone had been standing there all night, inches from her sister's face. The second set of footprints became the focus of the investigation within minutes. Officers sealed the bedroom and told Lily to step back into the hallway. She kept saying the same thing again and again, that Emily had gone to sleep alone, that no one else had a key except family, that the locks were always checked before bed. The prints were not muddy or bloody. They were made of something lighter, dust, skin oils, and pressure impressions pressed into the carpet fibers. Detectives photographed them from every angle. One officer later said the unsettling part was not that there were 2 sets, but how close the larger prints were to the bed. The toes pointed inward, angled toward the pillow. Whoever stood there was not passing through. They had stopped. Emily's phone was still on the charger. It had not been used after 12:18 a.m., when she sent her last message to Lily. Home. Locking up now. The door chain was still attached. The deadbolt was locked. There were no signs of forced entry, no damage to the windows, and no footprints leading out of the apartment. Neighbors were questioned that afternoon. The man downstairs said he heard a soft sound around 2:30 a.m., like furniture shifting or someone walking slowly above him. He assumed Emily was awake. Another neighbor heard nothing at all. No one reported a scream. No one reported a struggle. Detectives moved room by room. Everything was orderly. Emily's backpack was unpacked. Groceries were in the fridge. Her shoes were lined up near the door. Her car was still in the parking lot. In the bathroom, they found the shower towel damp, as if someone had used it recently. On the mirror, there was a faint mark at shoulder height, a blur in the steam residue that didn't quite match Emily's height. It was subtle enough that it could have been missed, until it was photographed and measured. When officers finally pulled back, keyed the bedsheets to check beneath the mattress, they found something that silenced the room completely. Pressed into the fitted sheet, right where Emily's head should have been, were shallow impressions, 2 distinct dents, wider than her skull, as if someone else had leaned down beside her while she slept. The impressions in the pillow changed the direction of the case overnight. Detectives stopped treating Emily's disappearance as a voluntary walkout and started working under a single assumption. Someone had been inside that bedroom while she slept. For the next 48 hours, the apartment became a controlled scene. Crime scene technicians dusted every surface again, this time using alternate light sources. Near the bed frame, they discovered partial smudge marks on the wooden rail, finger-sized, uneven, as if someone had steadied themselves there. They did not match Emily's hand size. The prints were too large. Security footage from the building was pulled and reviewed minute by minute. The hallway camera showed no one entering or leaving Emily's floor between 11:42 p.m. and 6:10 a.m. Stairwells were quiet. Fire exits untouched. Investigators began asking a difficult question no one wanted to say out loud. If no one came in and no one left, where did the second set of footprints come from? Emily's phone records revealed something else. At 2:17 a.m., her phone briefly unlocked for 7 seconds. No calls were made, no messages sent. The screen woke up, then went dark again. Forensic specialists could not determine whether it was touched or activated by movement. The time matched the downstairs neighbor's report of soft footsteps. The building manager provided maintenance logs. No repairs were scheduled that night. No emergency access requested. But when detectives inspected the crawlspace above Emily's ceiling, they found the insulation disturbed. Dust had fallen in fresh lines near the bedroom vent, matching the pattern on the carpet below. Emily's computer revealed one final detail. At 1:54 a.m., her laptop webcam activated for less than 1 second. There was no saved image, just a log entry showing the camera had turned on and off by itself. Police brought Lily back to the station that evening to review updates. As they spoke, one of the detectives received a call from a technician still inside the apartment. His voice was low and tight. They had found new footprints. This time, they weren't on the carpet. They were in the thin layer of dust on the inside of the bedroom door, leading inward, stopping just inches from the bed. The dust prints on the bedroom door were impossible to explain away. They were faint, but clear, each toe and heel visible in the thin gray layer that had settled over time. The direction mattered most. They came from the doorway and moved inward, not out. Whoever made them had entered the bedroom after the door was already closed. Police shut the apartment down again and expanded the search beyond the unit. Technicians removed vent covers, measured crawlspace clearances, and tested whether a person could move through the ceiling without causing visible collapse. The answer was unclear. Tight, but not impossible. Still, no complete path explained how someone could enter the room, stand near the bed, and disappear without a trace. Emily's routine was reconstructed hour by hour. She always locked the door, always charged her phone, always placed her glasses on the nightstand. Friends confirmed she slept lightly and would wake easily. That raised a quiet but disturbing question. If someone stood beside her bed long enough to leave head-sized impressions in the sheet, why didn't she scream? Digital forensics returned with another update. Emily's phone had recorded movement data during the night. Between 2:12 and 2:18 a.m., the sensors showed short bursts of motion, followed by long stillness. It looked less like someone walking and more like someone being gently repositioned. Then came the discovery no one was prepared for. When technicians inspected the underside of the bed frame, they found short fibers clinging to one corner. Dark fabric threads that did not match Emily's bedding, clothing, or any item in the apartment. Testing later showed they came from a heavy jacket or coat. Search teams widened their efforts outside the building. Dogs followed Emily's scent from the parking lot entrance back inside the stairwell, then stopped abruptly at her apartment door. There was no trail beyond that point. Late that evening, as detectives prepared to leave the scene, one officer noticed something new on the bedroom floor. The carpet fibers near the bed had shifted again. Fresh impressions were forming, slowly pressing down, one by one, as if someone was standing there once more, applying weight without touching the door, the walls, or anything else in the room. By the time investigators returned to the bedroom, the new impressions were gone. The carpet had slowly risen back into place, leaving only flattened fibers where something heavy had stood moments earlier. Officers documented it as unexplained compression. No one said more. The case took a quieter turn after that. A week later, the medical examiner confirmed something that changed everything. Emily's DNA was found in the shower drain, mixed with trace skin cells that did not belong to her. The second profile was male, not registered, no criminal record. Attention shifted upward, literally. A structural engineer was brought in to examine the building. Above Emily's unit, behind layers of insulation and drywall, he discovered a narrow maintenance cavity that had been sealed decades earlier during renovations. It was not on the building's current plans. Inside, there were flattened areas in the dust, food wrappers, and a discarded jacket. Someone had been living there silently, crawling between units, watching through vents, waiting. Police believe the man entered Emily's bedroom through the ceiling vent while she slept. The reason she didn't wake up may have been the quiet pressure at her shoulders, applied just long enough to keep her still and disoriented. There were no signs of a prolonged struggle. No clear cause of death was ever listed. Her disappearance remains classified as unresolved. The suspect vanished before he could be identified. Surveillance cameras never recorded him leaving. Search teams found no trail. The hidden space above the apartment was empty when they returned the next day. Emily's body was never found. Months later, the building was renovated again. The cavities were sealed. New tenants moved in. Life resumed. But residents on the second floor occasionally report the same thing: a brief pressure in the carpet near the bed, footprints too, hat fade by morning, and vents that smell faintly of dust and fabric. The apartment no longer belongs to Emily. But sometimes, just before dawn, someone stands beside the bed anyway. And if this story stayed with you, you might want to subscribe, because the next one starts closer than you think.